Hello everybody, welcome back to All Things Auto. Today I'm filming on my own, or I say on my own, I'm with my dog Daisy. Daisy, say hello. Say hello. Just filming in my garden. This is my little home studio, or whatever you want to call it. Got the tripod here, and my phone, which I'm recording on now. And what I'm going to record today, a little video about, I don't know how long it'll be, hopefully I don't go on for ages, is in that shed. So we're going to open the shed. I've already checked for spiders, so it is clear. I'm not going to get my screen. There is a wasp though. Can't stand wasps. It's nice weather in spring, but I just... See, he's angry now because I've just moved the shed door. Oh well. What are we filming in here? You'll recognise the Triumph, and yes, that is what we're filming. Good guess, if you guessed it right. This is the shed. The appalling shed. There's just soil there and cobwebs and... Look at that. It's horrendous. Insulation. And my old bike, the orange thing there, I'll probably get a lot of parts off that because it's got Schwalbe tyres on there and a nice mud guard and handlebars. So who knows, could use that for parts. Tyres down there. Here's the mountain bike tyres that I put on my Carrera. Used them when me and Matt went to Delamere at the end of last year. Anyway, this is what we're filming. So let's get out the shed. Let's see if we can get out then. Hopefully it's not going to fall to pieces, because obviously this is 62 years old now. So far so good. I think last time I got out of the shed, or a few times ago, had a flat tyre. There's always a surprise with this bike for some reason. Daisy, you're going to have to watch your paw. Here it is then. Let's go to the next scene, and I'll just remind you all a bit about this bike, because it's been a while since it's been on the channel. Here it is then, Triumph Roadster Cycle, built in a factory in Nottingham in the UK in 1958. I am the third owner. The first owner was a man who bought it new, and then I think in the early... What's going on there? Pigeon fight. Oh well. Basically, as I was saying, in the background of a pigeon fight, I'm the third owner. The first owner was a man who bought it new and then had it for ages and then had a crash on it, sadly. And then he sold it from there, and I think he gave up cycling altogether, which is a real shame, but sometimes people just lose courage, which is natural with anything on two wheels. And then it was bought by a guy who used it for commuting. He rode it every single day to work, can't remember where, in a very pretty area. That's all I remember. It was a year ago now. And then he decided to sell it because he had other bikes, and he started to take the car more often, which is the case with a lot of people, especially when it's cold and stuff like that, which it isn't today. It's a lovely day. So yeah, I'm the third owner, and I'm a bit guilty, to be honest, because when I got this in May 2019, last year, I said that I would ride it quite a lot, because at the time I didn't have my racing bike, which is in the living room, or anything like that. I just had my Carrera, which you can see hopefully there, and I had the Triumph, and that was it. And I said that I would use this for commuting as well. Every now and then take it to school, and I said that I would take it to shows as well, because that's the whole point with vintage bikes, is they're vintage, so they're special. But it didn't really work out, because I only ended up taking it to one show, and that was the Anglesey Steam Rally, which is one of my favourites. Went with Matthew last year with my granddad, and it was great. But then from there, I don't think I did much with it, which is a real shame. And I didn't really ride it enough, and Matthew was constantly telling me off, saying, "Oh, you should ride it. It's a really good bike." And yeah, I should. And I just don't know why I didn't, especially when I got my racing bike, which I'm not going to show you. I could do, but I'm not going to. You'll see that soon, probably. You got a racing bike, and you've got a fast mountain hybrid bike, whatever you want to call it. So why would you ride this? And I think I'm sort of missing the fun. So this year, I said at the start, I'm going to start taking this to more shows. Shows around the area, like Nantwich Show, and just vintage rallies again, and just taking it everywhere. Because why not? It's a beautiful bike. And obviously, with coronavirus, hasn't gone down very well, because a lot of the shows have been cancelled, if not pretty much all of them. All postponed, so that's down the drain. But I suppose I can ride it, but it'll be on my own. But I suppose that would give me a chance to sort of fall back in love with it. Can I say that? I don't know if I can. But yeah, I do need to start riding it. So, now I've gone on for 3 minutes or so, I'm just going to show you around the bike and sort of reintroduce you to the specs, if there is any. Now, one thing I really like about these bikes, and bikes with hub gears in general, Sturmey Archer or whatever they are, is they're pretty much maintenance free. You really don't have to do anything to them. And if you know your bikes, and you know derailleurs are a lot different. You need to oil them, you need to degrease them, you need to lube them. It's constant work every single week, minimum. I don't know, it can be more often. You're constantly doing work to them. But with this bike, you don't have to do anything, and it's sort of quite nice to come to a bike and it'll just work. I say work. Last year I had a bit of a problem. So me and Matt were out cycling. I was on this, and I think Matthew was on his racing bike because he didn't have a mountain bike then. And I was going up a hill. I was in third, and obviously with these bikes you need to either stop pedalling or ease off the pedalling to change gear. And I didn't really do that enough, and I sort of carried on pedalling. And I went down from third into second, and all of a sudden, pop, or snap, or whatever noise, and then there was pedalling, you could ride it, but it was stuck in third. There was no second, and there was no first. I can actually show you, brought this down, sort of an ornament now. This is the old spindle, this is what it was. This screws in there, does it? Yes. And then that attaches onto there. You can see it's the same one. This is the original one, I think, from the 1950s. And that snapped out completely, the thread just stripped, dead. So that went away. I still have it because it's a nice little thing to keep. And then we bought another one off eBay. It's about a £2 fix. That went in, do some adjustments, really nothing at all. It's really simple. And then just like that, it's done. I can actually show you how it works. Here it is. Don't think this gear shifter's original. 1, 2, 3. Really nice sound. But I can show you, if I flick through the gears, I can do this standstill, because if I pull up at a traffic light and I'm in second, and I'm like, oh no, I need to set off, I can just put it into first, and it'll work. Second, third, second, third. And that basically pulls a load of different things inside the hub, and it's like 3 cases, I think, or something like that. And they move amongst each other, and then that changes the speed of the bike, obviously, the gears. Now, chain. It's a single chain, and it has a nice chain case to go with it, original Triumph badged. One thing I do like about this bike is it shows its age, but not too much that it's like, that's disgusting piece of junk. It's really quite nice, and you can tell it's got age. But yeah, single chain, around there, and back. So simple. Sounds vintage. Like a steam train. Yeah, it's super nice. Now let's do a quick overview of everything in general on this bike. Now this saddle, it's a Brooks saddle, and it's an original one with the double springs, and they're really quite hard to get hold of cheaply now. And I think this seat is it's worth a lot. I don't know how much, but it's going to be worth a lot. Now I got this bike, believe it or not, for 60 quid off Gumtree or something, and I can tell you that was a bargain. Old man, if you're watching this video, old owner, I think he's sort of lost out there on some extra cash because it's probably worth hundreds. But yeah, seat is nice, it's a nice addition. I put that on when I got it, and it's just really nice, it's nice. Lights, now this was a problem. They did have all of the wiring for the dynamo lights and stuff like that, but it was a bit shredded and a bit tatty, and it was horrible. So we got rid of that, and we just went new. So this is, believe it or not, just an LED. You can't really see it in this daylight. Oh, the battery's dead. Yeah, you can see it. That's just an LED one that just attaches on. Vintage design. It's very nice. The back is the same story. You can see there's the original hole for the original light. But we bought one of them, which again, is battery operated. Very clever. Vintage design. We had to put that further up, which did involve drilling a hole. But then again, it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't cover this, the Triumph coat of arms, if that's what it's called. So yeah, tyres. Tyres aren't original. They weren't when I got it, and the tyres that are on it were horrendous. They were cracked, they were horrible, and they would have done the job, but not very well at all. So we put these on. These are Schwalbe tyres. Schwalbe Spezial something or other. It's got a picture of a snail on it. and they were good. They were fantastic until around last year, when I got a puncture, and then we repaired it, and then Matthew rode it. He got a puncture, and then I rode it, got a puncture, etc., etc. It went on. So we got some new inner tubes, Schwalbe ones. I know it's ironic. German inner tubes in a British bike from 1950s. Oh well. And then we put some slime in the inner tubes. It's a very clever system, and it basically acts as a thicker layer inside the inner tube. And since that's been injected through the valve into the inner tube, I've had no punctures, no problems whatsoever. And it keeps the air in really nicely. So yeah, very happy with that. Pump, it's very nice, vintage design pump. And that just comes off and that attaches on. It's actually got the adapter on it so it fits on the valve correctly. And that still fits in really nicely. And it's a nice touch. Really like it. Panniers I've added on, just for practicality. And I have actually got the original bag that went on the back post. I think it's in the shed. Unless my dad's thrown it away. No, it's there. I'm going to get it out because it's filthy. But that's the original bag that came with the bike in 1958. It's pretty incredible. But I've added this on just because it's very practical, and it means you can go away to a nice little town or something and you can have a nice little picnic. I've actually been shopping in this once Sunday morning. I went to the co-op, got a nice breadstick. Here, I'll explain the bag first. The bag is to put on the seat when it rains and it stands still, which is not very often I ride this in the rain. I don't really ride it at all. It stops the leather from perishing and stuff like that. This is the information thing, and I hung this simply, I think it was on the Sturmey Archer thing or something, on the show, and also Steam Rally, and it's meant for other shows as well. Triumph Roadster Cycle, and it says this British built bike, built by Rally Nottingham, was made way back in 1958, etc., etc. And it says here, which is interesting, it was built for postmen. People need to commute around town, and even by the police, and that is true. Police officers used it, postmen used it, so it's quite interesting. It's a picture of me in May 2019. I'm very young. So yeah, there's a little story about it, and there's the general information about the Triumph Roadster Cycle. And that has been in there, excited for the next show, which hasn't happened. But yeah, that is the Triumph Roadster Cycle. Really like it. I really need to ride it more often. In fact, I think I probably could. Could I do my daily exercise on this, do you think? Because I haven't had it yet. So I haven't had a daily exercise in days. Really silly. But do you reckon I would get away with taking it for a quick spin down the road? Because it is daily exercise. Bear with me. Out and about now on my daily exercise. Spending it wisely on the Triumph. You see? Do a little demonstration. I'm in first gear. You're pedalling. And then you need to go in second, stop pedalling, in second, and then carry on pedalling. Just does it, all in the hub, right there. But yeah, it's very jolly. A few things need doing to it. Something I resolved not long ago was some horrible squeaking coming from the pedals, and it's come back. So, I do need to sort that out again. There's also some other bits and bobs. You see my reflection there. So yeah, it's a very nice bike. This bike really proves that you don't need a fast bike, i.e. my racing bike. You don't need a bike with massive tyres or whatever, like my road bike, my hybrid bike, whatever, to have fun. You can just be on a normal bike. This is a very slow bike, but it makes you happy. And it is 62 years old. It's a weird feeling, weird thought. It's 62 years old and it's being ridden. It's probably the most reliable bike I have, to be honest, and that's quite weird. But that's because of the hub gears and stuff. They're just so durable. By the way, I'm not a lunatic, don't worry. The reason I'm not wearing a helmet is there's nobody out and I'm actually on a private road. Hopefully I don't get kicked off by a farmer again. So I'm wearing my Goodwood hat, which I think is very appropriate because Goodwood was around in the 1950s, and I think anyway, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm actually heading in somebody's private land now, so difficult doing it one-handed. Head back this way. This bike, it's been abused a bit, especially when Matthew's been riding it. And Matthew's actually got some exciting news coming up, which I think, because he's actually recording a video as I'm speaking, recording a video now myself. he's got some exciting news because he's fallen in love with this bike. First time we ride it, it was a bit like, what's this? It's a bit weird. And then after a while, the ticking, he fell in love. Absolutely fell in love. So he keeps trying to offer money to me, and I'm just like, no, just no. Scary speeds now. I don't know if you can hear me over the wind. I'm doing like an entire 10 miles per hour, and on this bike it feels like 20. It's very wobbly. Back at the house now after a very nice ride. I must have done a mile or two around the area, and I've just realised next month is May 2020 obviously, and in May 2019, mentioned earlier in the video, that was when I got this bike, which means that in a few weeks time, I think it's like May the 9th or May the 6th, I'm not really sure, it's 1 year with this bike. So I want to do something with it. I don't know what, because obviously it's very limited at the moment with lockdown, stuff like that. But if I can't do anything on the 1 year day anniversary, if you want to call it, then we'll dedicate this video to it as like a 1 year celebration, and might title it like what I've learned 1 year with a bike from the 50s. And after the lockdown's done, we'll get some nice content with this vintage bike, and who knows, Matt might have his own. Don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, 1 year with this bike, and it's been good. It's been very nice, very, very nice. But I just haven't ridden it enough. So it's not going anywhere. I'm not selling it or anything. Matthew. And over the next year, who knows, I'm going to try and ride it more often. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. This is my 1958 Triumph Roadster cycle. I hope it's been a very nice review. And little message from Daisy. Daisy wants to tell you to like and subscribe, don't you, Daisy? Is he poor? She doesn't do it on camera. I think she's camera shy. Aren't you, Daisy? Yeah. All things auto dog. That's what we'll call her. She'll be making an appearance soon. Won't you, Daisy? Yes? Yes? So, thank you very much for listening. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and do all of the other bits of nonsense. And we'll see you soon in the next video. Goodbye. Just started packing away all the equipment, and it's Triumph tradition. Something just went wrong. And I didn't explain that a few months ago, when we put the slime in and stuff like that, the tyre exploded, the back one. And I was just here, and all of a sudden, bang! It's like a bomb went off or something. It scared the life out of me. The front tyre's just exploded. You can see the slime though. It's gone all over the trampoline, all up there. You can see all the dots, and it's gone underneath the trampoline. It's gone everywhere in the garden. The bike has just exploded, and I heard all the neighbours go, "Ooh, what was that?" So, sorry, residents. But yeah, get a vintage bike, he said. It'll be fun, he said. But yeah, when they don't explode, the tyres, they're fantastic. They're very good. So get a vintage bike. But him over there is obviously making a bit of a mistake with his tyres, because it's just blew up. So yeah, thank you for watching. This will be the last time the Triumph will be on the channel for a while, as it seems, because some work needs to be done. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you soon.